Hi, everyone. I'm so excited that you're here with us today. I'm so excited you get to meet Sister Ignatia, and she is from the Sisters of St. Francis of Perpetual Adoration.
That's right.
And they're an amazing community, and if you've never heard of them, get ready. You're going to be excited once you hear more about them. So thank you, Sister Ignatia, for joining us today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for the invitation. Yeah, I'm excited.
So tell me, how did you grow up? How was family life like for you?
I was really blessed with my family. So I'm from upstate New York, outside of Syracuse, a little town called Mexico. There's many jokes that are made about me being from Mexico. Clearly, anyway, so grew up in a small town. From my home where I grew up, I could see the church from where we lived. So it was right there. The church community was a big part of our life. My parents, I think just gave us so much from their own faith journey, and I think a few key things about our family, at least, that I could see later on, how it helped me. My parents started adoration at our home parish. So a small parish. So, only, 24 hours, each week. But that was a part of our life and our faith life. And then we also did, a family home enthronement to the Sacred Heart. So in every home that we've had in that small town, when we would move, the Sacred Heart was always in a prominent place. When we walked in the front door, we would pray our family prayers together. And my parents would always give me a blessing, or my brother and I a blessing before we would go to bed. So all those things that you don't really think about when you're 12 or 13, just what you do. But now I'm saying wow, yeah, believed in, the Lord's faithfulness and his blessing and everything. So,
and I think that should give parents some hope. Besides starting adoration at your parish, those were small things. The other things were small things that they did on a regular basis that just kept you, kept you surrounded, and kept you in that Catholic bubble, if you will, enough to get out and be able to answer the call more easily. Yeah. I feel like so many parents are like, oh no, there's no way I could do it, and our family is such a crazy mess, and yes.
Yeah.
Ours too. Yeah, right. Every family's a crazy mess. You got to find things that you can do, small, sometimes big, but many times it's just small things, and keeping faithful with those to help your children. So hope that all the parents hear that. That's awesome. Yeah. And so then you grow up, do you go to college? Do you enter right out of high school? What does that look like for you?
So being from a small town, I didn't have Catholic school either. So another thing, my upbringing was also, I felt very normal, or a good balance. I wasn't, it was just the average, I guess, public school experience. And I was well, I might want to try this whole Catholic school thing out, because, just feeling kind of the only one, at school that maybe believed what I believed, or not having the support. So I did go away to college. I went to Franciscan University in Steubenville, and reluctantly at first. It was a suggestion from my aunt, and you don't want to do what your family tells you to do. But then I visited, and I was oh, okay, I think the Lord wants me to do this. So I went there, and I studied for 2 years. And in that time, that's when I met the sisters. And then after, especially my sophomore year, I really felt the Lord calling me at that time. So I left.
So, okay, a couple of things. First, you are one of many who have come on and talked to me about going to Franciscan University.
I know, it's a little cliche.
It is so interesting. I'm sure my audience is going, another one, and that is amazing. The school is so fruitful for a reason.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful place And it's not just for discerners, meaning we hope all of our young people are discerning, right? What God's calling them to. But I mean, it's not just for people who think they may have a call to religious life or priesthood.
Yeah.
For any faithful Catholic kid who wants to be surrounded, enveloped, if you will, in Catholicity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So, secondly, okay, so when was like the first time you thought maybe I should be maybe God's calling me to this?
When I was young, I mean, I think first initially, like I was kind of pinpointed maybe like fourth grade, something like that. And thinking, I think more of like an admiration, like seeing, the life of religious through like media or Mother Teresa or, those types of things. But seriously, I didn't think about it until I was in college because I didn't have an example. I didn't see it. I didn't know what that life would look like. And then all of a sudden, like I saw sisters and I was like, oh, this is a real thing. So then, a little tinge of like fear because you're like, oh, I didn't think that was a real thing. I didn't think I had to think about that. And then there's sisters walking around like very normal, an average, like an age, like around my age. And so that's when I first, the Lord was kind of like bringing it back up again, I guess.
And so did you find any real obstacles put in your path in discerning that, or was it once you really started discerning, it came pretty clearly, this is what you were called to?
I would say for me, it did come pretty clearly. Like I mean, there's always like the wrestling back and forth and like you want to be sure. But I think the process for me, I kind of take it that the Lord, Jesus was very direct and gentle at times. But once I got to know the sisters, our sisters in particular, obviously, just feeling, you have a sense of like, oh, I was made to do this. Like this, all these things that I sensed in my heart and in myself growing up, like, oh, this is it. This is what I was waiting for, even though I didn't have words for it before that. So like obstacles, like, I don't know if I call them obstacles, but I think like the natural, like, I don't know, hurdles of, you have to like come to grips with what you're giving up and what, in order to latch on to the good. Like you see how good it is and beautiful, but that doesn't mean that everything you're leaving behind isn't good and beautiful. It's just you're leaving it behind. So I think, especially like that last year when I was in college, praying through some of those things of like, okay, I'm actually going to say goodbye to my friends. I'm going to, not have a family. Like, you just like imagine that's going to happen. So then like taking some time to like sitting down with Jesus, like, okay, this is what you're asking me to do. Like, okay, let's talk about that.
So a couple of things. Was this more of a stirring of your heart? We've interviewed so many sisters and priests and brothers and some really hear a very clear, like, you are mine. And then others, it's just a stirring of the heart and actually a more peace once you say yes. Like, so what was it for you?
I think like a stirring of the heart and something that the only like maybe cool audible thing I really remember hearing from the Lord was when the timing was really coming to be clear to me that like I just had the thought popped into my mind of like, hey, like next year you could be in the convent. Just putting that out there, and then I was like, yeah, like that's what I want to do. So I think before that it was a stirring, but not like a brooding or like I was very much being moved. Like it was pretty clear. Like I would come home from, I would be in college, and then the sisters, there was a year for the Eucharistic Congress. So the sisters from Steubenville were going, and they had a couple seats if I wanted to go. I'm like, spend like a weekend DC with the sisters, get to meet all the other sisters. Yeah. So like, it's basically me and a bunch of, consecrated religious. And I'm thinking like, this is awesome, great, blah, blah, blah. And then I come back to college, and then I have a meeting with like my household sisters that I'm, our little like women's group on campus. And I'm just like sharing with them. And then I get to hear back from them what they're seeing. Like they're seeing so much joy and so much, that I'm so happy with just like being with the sisters. So like you feel it, but yeah, it helps to have like, people around you who like notice like, okay, something's different, something's changed. I've never seen you so happy. Like, so I think having good people around me that could affirm that in me. And I guess that's kind of, and then I just like you're right. Like,
so tell me, how did you know it was the Sisters of St. Francis of Perpetual Adoration, that was the community that was meant for you? How did you find them, and what was that searching like?
I think the Lord, he kind of sought me out, I guess. So how I really met them first was I played basketball at Franciscan University. And then usually, I think they still do it now, where they have kind of like a chaplaincy program. So like the sisters who study there have an opportunity to kind of, serve in some capacity. So one of our sisters coached basketball, played basketball. So that was just like a natural fit for her to just kind of be present to the team and everything. So like, I show up to basketball practice, and I'm already kind of like a little afraid of this whole like call thing. And then I show up to basketball practice, and then there's a sister. I'm like, oh, come on, like what? And, but then like, we just like hit it off. We shoot around. And then that like provided the atmosphere for me to be comfortable to just like ask questions. And so I think, really from there, so I didn't really search around. It wasn't, once I knew that I was called, like the community, like wasn't a question. Like they just, supported me a lot, and gave me space to, just go on this journey whatever I needed to be. And there's also other sisters at Franciscan, that I knew, and could kind of get a feel for what their community was like. So like my heart wasn't being drawn anywhere else. So I didn't feel the need to,
How beautiful, because that's really a struggle for so many
women
who are discerning, right? That they're flying all around. Well, when they could. Now they're like virtual come and sees here and there, but it's a real search, years worth of searching to find the place where they feel at home, where God's calling them to be. So what a blessing for you to have it more in your lap, if you will, or on the court. So tell me, so you find them. What were your what so far has been? So how long ago was that?
About 10 years.
You've taken final perpetual vows.
Perpetual vows. 2 years ago.
So tell me about this community, so that everybody else gets to know about them.
Oh, good. I think working in vocation work, it's like the best job, because I just get to tell people about how wonderful I think we are. So, So Sisters of St. Francis of Perpetual Adoration, we were founded in Germany in 1863. So like, the gratitude of having such a long history, and many sisters who have worked really hard to serve the church, and who have like lived their vows faithfully, and having that witness around us. And then our community also then moved, obviously, to the United States in 1875. So we've been here in the States since then, and having perpetual adoration going on since then as well in the States. I guess like unique that we are able, our main work for the church is perpetual adoration. That, if we weren't able to do anything for some reason, we weren't able to work in hospitals and schools, which we do, like we can always adore Jesus and offer him the love that he desires, and the love that he desires from us. So we have perpetual adoration at our mother house in Mishawaka, and our sisters who are retired, who can't do active ministry anymore, they do the daytime hours. And then we all kind of, pitch in to do the nighttime hours.
And that's in
some of-
Indiana, right? That's in
Yes,
Indiana.
Mishawaka, Indiana. Yep. So,
And if anybody wants to know, like go a
Oh.
deeper dive into these sisters and this amazing community, go to Vocation Ministries YouTube channel, the playlist of Behind the Veil #2. These sisters rocked the house on their hour of Behind the Veil. They took us on an actual tour. They showed us their chapel. We prayed with them. We got to meet one of the older sisters, which is so beautiful. There was a beautiful interview with her and find out about the history of this community. So please take the opportunity to go find out more because it's amazing. So little drop in there, but so you're vocation director, but the other apostolates for the sisters besides praying? Hospitals, education,
schools, yes, and other ecclesial ministries. But yeah, a big responsibility, I think, and an honor to serve in healthcare and education, because as far as healthcare and Catholic healthcare goes in the United States, not the easiest thing, but we sponsor a healthcare system called Franciscan Health. So we have hospital campuses over in Indiana, a few in Illinois. Just trying to be authentic in our Catholic healthcare ministry. And then education, diocesan schools, high school level, and we also sponsor the University of St. Francis in Fort Wayne. So again, an honor to serve that.
So for the sisters, they're mostly going to be teachers or either nurses, hospital care, or maybe an administration.
Right, yeah,
all
especially
of those
administration. Yeah, in healthcare, there's like a lot of areas like patient advocates, spiritual care, front desk even. I mean, imagine if you're coming to a hospital and like so uncertain and scared and all these things, or one of our chemo centers, and then there's a sister there. I mean, we can just like pray with you and just, be there. So definitely just having the sisters present is important.
Oh, I think that would be amazing. I mean, that's never happened to me, but I mean, if I would have come into a situation like that and had a sister who was willing to sit with me and listen and just be with me, I think that would be so comforting. Yeah. So it's a beautiful ministry. So what is the most joyful part of being a consecrated sister?
I think I always answer this question I give 2 answers, if that's okay. Yeah, because it's hard to, I think the most joyful, I mean, I get to be married to Jesus. That he wants me in a particular way. I mean, everyone who's called, even into married life, like our soul belongs to Jesus no matter what. But that he has allowed me to live that and dedicate myself more fully to that. And he's wanted to show me how particularly he loves me through my consecration. So I think that fact, most definitely. And then, I do love our community life, what we have together. I remember you look back to like seeds of your vocation, and I could think of, I've been on basketball teams like my whole life. And when I was in high school, I mean, I got to be captain for a lot of teams. And I remember just like, you're going through some like a hard drill in practice and you're cheering everybody on, and like you finally do it right. And like I just remember that like joy of like seeing my teammates succeed and like, oh, we're doing this together and that sort of thing. And that was like a seed of like what I was meant to do for my life, my whole life, of being able to live in community and see my sisters succeed and do well and move on in religious life and like, fight the good fight and like do it together is something that, I think the Lord kind of gifted me with. So it brings me
ultimate teamwork, right?
Exactly. Yeah. He was schooling me from the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, I love that. And how much time, I mean, I think a lot of the joy from consecrated life, because that's what you hear a lot, right? That's the attraction that people see, right? There's I want to be around the sisters. They're so joyful, right? And I think a lot of that joy comes from spending so much time in front of Jesus.
Yeah.
Right.
Because,
So how much time on an average day do you spend, or do the sisters spend in time, like you and like just a typical sister?
Yeah, I think it's about more in the morning, about 2 hours ish with, if you combine meditation, morning prayer, mass. In the evening, we all have a holy hour together. So that's 3. And then a lot of us usually have our night hour or our adoration hour that we kind of fit in during the day. So I guess 3 and some change, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So it's just beautiful. It's beautiful to see. It's so thankful for you. So great to meet you and to find out more about you and those wonderful sisters of St. Francis of Perpetual Adoration. I'm telling you, if you're interested, please look them up. So thank you so much, Sister Ignatia, for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, I love talking about religious life. So anytime.
All right. Well, God bless you.
You too.